going on, boys and girls? My name's Dougal Cameron. Welcome to Building an Empire, our new video series about us building our businesses and becoming hella rich. One of my favorite activities, they say vlog things you're passionate about. I'm passionate about becoming hella rich. So my name's Dougal Cameron. And I'm 22. I'm currently, my main job is working at Penthouse magazine, doing a few interesting things for them. I'm a part-time student, studying finance and Chinese in a commerce degree at the University of Sydney. And I am a director of Carnage Group, which is the new business we've formed, and I'm a shareholder as well. In this series, we'll be bringing you all the day-to-day stuff about all the activities we're doing to build all the different businesses that are underneath the umbrella of Carnage Group. We'll bring you some discussions on how we think business should work, some mistakes we've made, some successes that we've had. We'll show you in depth what the businesses are, how they're structured, whether they're cash positive or cash burning, and what are our strategies for building them up into sustainable businesses. And it's going to be a lot of cool stuff because there's actually a lot of really interesting businesses we're doing, right? Because although the money is good, really we have a few key capabilities that we can do. So all I would say is that Abhishek and Aditi, who are about to be introduced or who already have been, they kind of take care of all of the Indian side of the operations, which is a significant amount of them. Me and my brothers and sisters and my dad more or less handle the Australian side. And although it doesn't work out perfectly, as often Abby and Aditi are doing a lot of Australian side stuff, that's kind of the general division of labor. And as I'm, in a sense, quarterbacking the Cameron side of the operation, or the white side of the operation, that's kind of my responsibility. So a few casual racist jokes in the office. Hopefully they don't get us banned from YouTube. We'll see you shortly.
G'day, my name's Armin Arakelian. I'm the CEO of Pacific Trade Takeover, the trading import-export entity of Carnage Group Proprietary Limited. I am excited to have joined the company as CEO, appointed as CEO by the directors and shareholders. I am thrilled to be participating in the new era of Australia-India trade relations. And of course, we need a market mover and maker to enter India first before the political bureaucrats start talking about or inkling of a free trade agreement. Bit of background about me. I worked for the Dashang Group for almost 4 years. The Dashang Group is one of the largest supermarket department store chains in China and the largest in the north of China. I helped run the subsidiary here in Australia, which was involved in beef and cattle predominantly, and then moved to fruit and wine production as well. I also assisted the group in tying and linking Australian businesses, agricultural companies and manufacturers with Dashang's fully vertically integrated supply chain to their supermarkets and consumer. I assisted with formulating investment strategies and reports for the chairman of the Dashang Group, and I left the Dashang Group as the Group Business Development Manager and the International Investment Advisor for the chairman of the Dashang Group.
You have a joke?
No. I can't think of any jokes right now.
Can't do jokes?
I have to prepare for that.
Okay, well.
I'm not Seinfeld.
I'm Alexander, I'm 24. I have a pretty substantial role across all the businesses as one of the senior leadership group members. Definitely considering I have a degree from the University of Sydney in finance and banking, my role is largely going to be in facilitating and providing a little bit of financial leadership across the businesses. So that includes particularly in provision of banking and banking software. That's going to include a lot of the more technical and financially focused operations and things to do with that. In terms of the trade, it's going to be a lot of forecasting, budgeting, and that type of stuff for the Pacific Trade Takeover, which is the import-export business. And then also in terms of the tenders, obviously I've got a little bit more corporate experience than than some of the other guys. So in terms of how you structure a document or a proposal or a pitch, the things that need to go in those type of things is also something that I'm going to be heavily involved in as well. So those are all the things that I do, as well as keeping everyone else kind of on the straight and narrow, being the second oldest in the group. And keeping people accountable in terms of deliverables, because there are a couple slackers / people who have a little bit of a tendency to sleep in / not get the stuff done. People who tend to sleep in a lot, Armin is definitely one of them, and Abhishek is the other one. Obviously, Andy and Fiona basically sleep all day, so they don't really sleep in. They just don't get up, full stop. Dukes is not too bad. Dukes is probably somewhere in the middle. But Abhishek and Armin are definitely the serial offenders at that.
What about your hobbies and interests?
Hobbies and interests? I would say I like reading. I like writing. That's probably one of the things that I'm pretty good at in terms of skills, is being able to shift the way I write and my style of writing to the desired audience. I've written for The Spectator, Cauldron Pool, CarnageHouseProductions.com. Let me think. There's been a couple of others as well. I can't remember, but a couple of relatively reputable brands that have taken my writing on. Other hobbies, I enjoy going to the gym. I've got pretty good physique. I'm working on my posture at the minute. That's the one thing I'm really trying to improve. But I also like to meditate. Been getting back into my meditation. So I'm a pretty zen individual, pretty relaxed under pressure, and that's because I'm a little bit like a pizza in that sense. I'm one with everything, got everything on it. So there you go. Anything else?
What happened to your leg?
So this is what happens when you when you jump too hard, too high, and too fast for your own body. So I've got an issue where my knees were not able to cope with the amount of force that my muscles were putting through them. It tends to happen if you play a lot of elite sports for any extended period of time, which I did. I played a lot of basketball. So that's just one of those things. I had patellar tendonitis and basically it snapped. So you can see that I'm on the road to recovery. It's a pretty gnarly scar where they cut me open. But yeah, no, things are going well. Things are good. It's been a blessing and a curse. I've been able to do a lot more reading than I would have otherwise been. My workouts are getting more structured, more refined. I'm definitely trying to focus on being able to use my time better as well. It's one of those things. You got to make the best of a bad situation, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Any other final words?
No other final words, but I did hear a good joke the other day. Can I tell a joke on this?
Yeah, and then it'll be up to Akdas, our editor, if he wants to include it.
Yeah, well, Akdas is going to get one right up to Akdas if you ain't careful and doesn't include it. Doctor gets on the phone and it's his receptionist. He's saying, "Doc, you got to come in. It's an emergency. There's a guy who thinks he's a moth and he's in your office." He goes, "Oh, what the hell? All right, I'll come in." Anyway, so the doctor comes in. Sure enough, there's the guy who thinks he's a moth and he's sitting in the office right next to the lamp. Anyway, the doctor goes, "Mate, what seems to be the issue? Like, it's past opening hours. What the hell are you doing?" The guy goes, "Doc, I got to talk to you. I got some serious crippling depression." It's like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, look, every time I look in the mirror, I see a sniveling coward, a person who, if I had the opportunity, I'd reach over onto that bedside table, put a couple in the chamber, and then say, 'Good night, Irene.'" Doc's, "Oh, that doesn't sound good." He goes, "Yeah, that's not it." And then my son hates me. We've got the worst relationship we've ever had. It's on the rocks. I can't even look at him in the eye. I mean, look at me. Who am I? What am I doing? He goes, "Oh, is there anything good in your life?" He's like, "No, I just lost my dog. My car keeps breaking down. My house keeps getting broken into. There's absolutely nothing that I look forward to every day." He goes, "Oh, well, geez, you got to find something, get a hobby. Do you have any hobbies?" "Yeah, my only hobby is sitting at the bar and drinking alone until I throw up and get my ass kicked out and drag myself home in a big screaming mess." He goes, "That's my hobby. What do you reckon about that?" He goes, "Oh, well, that's awful." He goes, doctor goes, "Mate, like, you should really be seeing a psychiatrist and getting some professional help." The guy goes, "I know." He says, "You understand that I'm a podiatrist. I'm not a psychiatrist." He goes, "I know." He says, "Well, why are you here? Why don't you go see a psychiatrist?" He goes, "Well, the light was on." There you go. That's another cracker. That's free. You can use that one on your friends on a date. If you want to impress a pretty girl, that's a good one. That's actually a family-friendly joke, so you're welcome. That's it. Anything else? Also, make sure when you tell it, you pause for laughter as well at the end. Don't just go into comment, just pause.
I'm Ross Cameron. I'm a friend of the various enterprises which are taking place under the Korakai Group. I've been involved in three elements, I suppose, of the vast dream. First of which, in relation to Pacific Trade Takeover, everyone is now turning their mind to how one might build an Australian product distribution platform inside India, particularly as the China relationships have become more difficult. So I've just introduced the team to 4 Australian brands whose owners have an appetite to get into the Indian market and are willing to go on that journey. And the team is effectively executing the commercial relationships and testing the appetite of the Indian consumer market for these Australian products. Then I've been working with Abhishek on an Australian financial services client for an institutional build essentially from scratch around an international banking license of an Australian subsidiary. And so that's looking very promising, but plenty of work to do. Then finally, on the Vast Dream project, which is the meta story, is the aggregation of medical diagnostic data, where much of the health sector in Australia and around the world is generating lots of data, but it's not using that data effectively or mining it for its future diagnostic value. And so Abhishek has built a platform that would house, organise, make accessible that data, and is building the first consumer-facing application which would both deliver an improved diagnostic result in the area of optometry, and eye testing and eye health, while at the same time acting as a hoover to aggregate the depersonalised data and make it more useful for future diagnosis of the likely either, say, recovery of the eye from surgery or early detection and identification of eye health problems. I'm working on finding funding sources to help supplement the self-funding work which has already taken place to quite an extensive degree. So that's my story.
What's up? I'm Fiona Cameron, and I am the sister of Diggle, Alex, and Andy. My role in this business is mainly moral support, but I assume that I will have a larger role down the track. Right now, I'm kind of like some creative design, some filming of things. My hobbies are painting, editing videos for Carnage House Productions, follow them right here, and hanging out with my gals. That's basically what I do with myself. I'm the artistic one in the family. 3 words: I am nice and fun and cool and swag, if you wanted another one. That's my intro.
What's up, guys? I'm Andy Cameron, one of the 3 prodigal sons. My role in the business officially is shareholder. That's my role.
Breakfast.
What I actually do, I'm a little bit of a handyman, do the odd jobs, helping out here and there. I'm also the company clown, keeping up the row, keeping up the comedy. But no, I've been helping out with some things like government grant, being a fun guy. That's also another job of mine. Dougal here has been managing my transition into the company. All types of transitions.
That's why it works, because we can do shifts.
That's me. Not a whole lot.
I'm more the technical guy who runs companies in software-related ventures, while giving my input in all the other ventures we are involved in. And I'll leave the introduction to Aditi.
Oh, thank you for that. Well, I'm basically also a shareholder of this company, and other than that, I would like to describe as someone who likes to fill in the gaps, as that sort of a person. I also have a technical expertise, but I also like to fill in the gaps in other kind of business things as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your technical expertise is like cybersecurity, programming,
Yeah.
mathematics.
Oh yeah, somewhat like that. It's just like sometimes I enjoy doing them, sometimes I kind of enjoy delegating them to other people.
And so what's the relationship between you guys?
So basically, we are engaged.
Wait a minute!
DT is getting grilled by her family back in India for a big life decision that she made without consulting them.
Which was really funny conversation I had with my mom, kind of for 10 seconds, and then with my dad, because we didn't tell any of our relatives that we are engaged. And Abby, being Abby, he just put like engaged to my name on Facebook and then sent requests to all of my relatives apparently. And then they are like, who this idiot is, and they're like engaged to Aditi, and then they're calling my mom and being like, is she engaged? Is your daughter engaged? When did she get engaged? And my mom is just like, Bejati karwa di. It means like such an insulting. But it was a very funny thing. That's very Indian thing to do. And I'm not very much Indian-y. If a lot of people have realized like I'm not very traditional in that sense of things. So I'm just like, okay, there are better things to worry about. People dying from hunger.
No virus.
Yeah, COVID strain has come up, and suddenly Indians care about their other relatives and their personal life.
Maybe they should care about the COVID strain and the way they are getting handled in there, and the farmers' protest that is happening, which is being suppressed by media, lowest democratic index in a long, long time.
So we'll throw it over Andy and Fiona and Alex at the farm, so they'll give their introductions. Armin is driving back from the high country. He's the Pacific Trade Takeover CEO. There is Ross as well. Ross, he'll give his introduction at some stage. He's a bit of a butterfly around the place, so we'll pin him down when we can. We might even introduce a few players from the Indian team at some stage. I think that would be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be
get
funny.
them to vlog their
Yes,
sales.
the video. It will be very interesting, let's just say.
It would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's us. Go have a look at our video, our overview of the businesses to get a better understanding of what we do. And then come have a look at our vlogs so we show you the day-to-day building of an empire. Thank you, boys and girls.
Thank you, guys.